Welcome to the 1955 Dutch Grand Prix here for the fourth round in our 1955 championship in Grand Prix Legends. Coming off the awesome Belgian Grand Prix, I guess awesome because I won it, awesome also because it's an awesome race. But here for another race in the fourth round, hoping to keep the same momentum and come away with a bunch more points, if not another win. So excited for this one. I'll take a look at the points in the schedule. Of course, round 4 here, been through the Argentine, the Monaco, and the Belgian Grand Prix. So here at the Dutch Grand Prix, before our schedule starts diverting from the real life schedule, and we'll move on from there. Looking at the points, of course, it's the Fangio show. Juan Manuel Fangio in the lead, although he's been declining in results the last few races, which can only mean good things for me. Sterling Moss, his teammate, in second position, Alberto Ascari in third, and Jose Gonzalez, I guess my Ferrari teammate, although the blue Ferrari, he's in fourth place. I'm tied with him for fourth place with 11 points, so I'm only 7 points off the lead. And what you have to remember is, like I was saying previously, you only score the top 5 races or your top 5 races in the championship. So there's still, with 6 more rounds to go, still some leeway. I guess you could actually forget the first 3 or 4 rounds so far. You could forget half your races in the year. So excited to see what we can do here. So of course, at the Dutch Grand Prix 1955, this Grand Prix I think was pretty standard for the year. Won by Juan Manuel Fangio, second place Sterling Moss. So they really dominated. I guess it was a damp day, so we got the clouds today in our Grand Prix, but damp day, although it didn't dampen the Mercedes pace, and they kind of ran away with it. Although Luigi Musso finished third in the Maserati. Apparently he was pretty close for a while. He actually finished all the laps, which in these days, finishing on the lead lap was kind of hard to do. So having done that much is pretty impressive. But other than that, it doesn't seem like there was much of note happening in this Grand Prix. So hopefully we have a little more exciting of a time with our Grand Prix here. So let's take a look at the circuit. We're going to be doing 30 laps today around the Zandvoort circuit. They did 100 in real life, and this is definitely one of the longer Grand Prix out of the ones we've done so far. Although 30 laps, that's like the same we did around Monaco, but that is a much shorter circuit. I'll actually be interested in seeing the time at the end of this one to see if it actually took longer or not. But of course, this is the classic Zandvoort circuit. Really didn't change much, I think, until the mid 80s. From its opening till like the mid 80s, pretty much the same track as far as I could tell, and so very similar to the one you would be used to from 60s F1. I'm not going to try to pronounce many of the corners. They're pretty difficult to pronounce, not up on my Dutch, but the beginning section really the same as it is today, and then going off through the sand dunes and the beaches here around the long circuit, coming around. And like I said, in these cars, it's awesome to drive. It has some good flow to it, and really only the first corner is extremely difficult with the braking. Maybe extremely difficult is not the right word, but it's tough. You definitely have to use the engine to brake, but nothing like we faced in Monaco, similar to like La Source or something that we just did at the Spa Grand Prix. Take a look at our starting grid. Fangio on the pole, but Ascari splitting the Mercedes. And I guess it's kind of cool to see what might have been, of course, Ascari, like I said, after the Monaco Grand Prix, having tragically died in a sports car crash. We actually get to see what could have happened if he continued through the whole season with Lancia. And so he splits the Mercedes on the front row. Second row, Jose Gonzalez and Castellati, and I'm down here on the third row in 8th position. So starting on the, I think it's going to end up being the inside, actually. We'll have to see. But starting on the third row. So not such a bad time. I think I have at least another second in it, but ran out of time in the qualifying session. So maybe not quite as quick as Fangio, but I think I can mess around with some of these guys. And on full tanks and over the full course of the race with lap traffic, which I think will be a factor, we're going to have to see what happens. So feeling pretty good about the chances to score points. Whether or not we finish on the podium or get a win, that's what's left to be seen. So we'll take a quick run through the car setup. Now, I actually did change it a little bit here. I went a little stiffer overall, I think, a little less stiff on the back end compared to the front, but changed some of the roll bar stiffness to see if I could get the car to flow through some of these longer corners better. You'll see as we're racing, getting on the throttle and helping turn the car is essential here. So change some of that. Got my steering ratio at 10-1, 320 degrees on the wheel, like I had mentioned previously. And then my gearing, if anybody's curious, totally different gearing, obviously, to make it good for the circuit, but you just want to top out in 5th gear. Fight a little bit between 3rd and 4th through some of the mid-speed corners, but we'll get through that as we get into the race. So don't want to spend too much time up front here. Excited for this one to see if we can continue our hot streak after Belgium. So why don't we get started with the 1955 Dutch Grand Prix. Here we are on the grid, getting ready for the start. So I'm on the outside of this one. Flag is up, down, we're underway. Getting a good run off the line here, behind Castellotti probably. Almost missing my shift up there. I'll get it down to 2nd for the first corner. I want to just try to get through here cleanly. It's going to be a long race. On the slipstream, Mercedes behind me. I'm trying to see if I can get around this Lancia, but getting brake checked a bit there. So now we'll go to this nice bowl-shaped left-hander before we get onto the faster part of the circuit. So it looks like the 2 Mercedes actually getting out there in front, which is not what I want to see. Stuck behind a couple of these Lancias who feel like I am definitely quicker than. Not sure if I'd be able to squeeze it up the inside here. Squeeze the throttle back on, and now through this much quicker section on the circuit, although don't want to get too close. You don't want to follow super close to another driver, especially when you're not sure of their line yet. Over the bridge here. We'll have to plan our moves. I think obviously a lot of those passes are going to come on the front straightaway. It's really getting checked up in some of these corners. Put it down into 3rd gear here. Work across this last turn. Try to get on the gas as soon as possible. But that 26, Castellotti able to get on the gas a little quicker than myself. Up to 5th now. Not making any progress. Through the line though to finish the first lap. We'll use the engine as much as we can here. After a few laps, the brakes are not going to cooperate, especially if we're pushing it into the corner. 2nd gear here, see if we can get a good line. And onto the dirt a bit. It looks like a Ascari getting around Gonzalez, and I'm able to stick it up the inside of our Lancia friend here. Castellotti making the pass a little unexpected. I wasn't thinking I'd be able to get up the inside there. Here's Gonzalez in front of us in that blue Ferrari of his. In real life, actually only making 1 start, I believe, in this season. Did the full 1954, but only 1 round, the Argentine Grand Prix in 55. So seeing also what he would have done in this season. Just really have to negotiate these sand dunes here. Quite easy to run a little wide and throw it into the dirt, or throw it over one of those big dunes, which obviously would end your Grand Prix. Throw it into 3rd gear here for this final right-hand corner, and again get on the gas as soon as we can for this long front straightaway. Through the crowds again to complete another lap. Like I said, this is going to be a pretty long Grand Prix. As long as we try to hold it steady, make our shifts into into the corners. We should be all right. Shifting up to third there a bit into this right-hander, which is not necessary. You want to get back down to first anyway. Back up through the gears. I got asked what shifting method I use for the clutch. That makes it grind, and that's actually a plug-in called GPLaps, which is, I think, almost required these days to run a modern wheel and pedal set. But that has the option to make gears not engage if you don't push down the clutch, which I think is obviously just much more realistic, and as you can tell from previous races, catches me out from time to time. Not something I always used to run with. Didn't even really know it was available, but always discovering something new. Shift it into third here, see if we can get a solid line. So we're definitely keeping up with the guys up front. You can definitely ride these curbs as well, especially on the inside. You don't really want to touch the outside curbs, obviously, it's going to spin you out, but completing another lap. We'll take a look at our pit board here. P5, 27 laps to go. Down into second gear here for turn one. We'll ride that line. Gives you a good line through the corner. Down into second. I do love these first corners. You can get a really good flow through here. Again, not changed, I think, at all in the modern circuit up until I'll actually show you where it changes. This is all the same as in the modern circuit, which is great. They really preserved quite a bit of it, a lot more than like a Spa. And you do come through this corner in real life, and then on this next straight, the modern Grand Prix circuit takes a right here, a sharp right-hand turn through couple chicanes, unfortunately, and rejoins on the front stretch. So in real life, modern, you can still drive much of this real circuit, but I think the best part here is unfortunately gone. All housing now, actually. Seemed as though we might be making progress there for a lap, but not feeling too good about this lap. Looking way ahead up there, looks like Ascari might actually have gotten back around whoever's in third place in the Mercedes, either Fangio or Moss. I can hope it's Fangio, but I have a feeling I know who's actually out front right now. Just trying to get into a rhythm here, but definitely want to pick up the pace a bit. Don't want a repeat of Monaco, where we really didn't do much of anything. We made it through the race, but that's really all we can claim. Through a few of the corners really well. Of course, this part of the circuit in that 1966 movie Grand Prix, they have an onboard with Jackie Stewart racing around. Really, really cool to see. You should YouTube that. You'll see that this circuit actually is pretty accurate. This is, of course, one of the original circuits that came with Grand Prix Legends, but I think out of the original ones, this is definitely up there on the list of most accurate. With some excellent add-on texture work. Feeling like we're on the beaches at Zandvoort. Looks like the Mercedes and Lancia up there are dueling a bit, which is definitely what I want to see. But holding station, it feels like, with Gonzalez, although I don't feel as though I'm putting in a slouch of a pace. Whoa, almost missing my gear there. Where you really have to watch out about missed gears are those corners that you depend on the gearing to slow you down. Really, really easy to end a Grand Prix by missing a gear there. It must have been similar in real life. If you use the engine to brake and suddenly the brake goes away, you're not left with many options. A little wrong, it feels like this time. Get it back up the gears here, front straightaway again. And I do think we'll hit lap traffic on this Grand Prix. It's long enough. We'll have to see what that's going to do for us. I don't want to depend on the lap traffic to win, but or to increase position, but sometimes that can definitely help out. As we saw in Monaco, definitely gave us the only chance we were going to have. It'd be a bit easier to get around lap traffic here than Monaco, but on where you catch them. If you catch them through those first few corners, you might get stuck for a little while. Back up through the gears. This section, keep it in fourth. Just try to get the front of the nose towards those apexes. I'm totally missing it there. Getting a better line through there. This corner, have to brake a little more than you'd think. Definitely don't want to run wide here. A lot of the sand is very, very loose, like beach sand. It gets the car stuck in it right when you get off the circuit. It's not just hard grass. Another lap. Take a look at our pit board. 23 laps left. Gonzalez, Farina behind me, my teammate. Oh, missing my second gear there. Wow, and somehow able to stop the car. Just buried the brake pedal. Not what I want to be doing, trying to catch Gonzalez here. Brakes totally shot from that. You can see them turned red there on the dash. But luckily, there's a lot of straightaway or places on this track where you don't really use the brake pedal. So you're able to cool them down quite a bit, not overly concerned here about the brakes unless I'm trying to pass. Already back to green, so that's a good sign. Oh, and running wide there. You have to just use a little bit of that dirt, keep us going. But again, just more slightly off tracks and things that are going to slow us down ultimately. able to make it through that lap. A couple scary incidents on that one. So, start it all over again. You can see our skid marks from the last lap by. Of course, would have maybe flat spot the tires in real life, although they were very, very hard tires in these days. Just be me, but feel like I am actually pulling in ever so slightly on Gonzalez. Some of these corners, so hard to get through the car with the engines in front, obviously just understeering so much. At these medium to high speed corners here, not easy to get the on throttle oversteer that you would want to help rotate the car. Getting the line a little wrong through there. Oh, the car getting unsettled. It's like getting up on the curbing. Making it through another lap. Keeping it in second gear. I've tried first gear in this first corner, although the entry speed is appropriate for it. The shifting is too quick on the exit for it to really be beneficial. First gear though for this one. Trying to get on the gas there. You can see Gonzalez in front of me. Oh, and it looks like he might be catching, or we both are catching, one of the Mercedes. A few good corners here. Getting out onto the front straightaway. Take a look here, 20 laps left, P5, still just 3 seconds behind Gonzalez, so we're really equally matched in this one. It's too bad I'm not chasing Fangio, instead chasing Gonzalez for 4th position. Would want to be further up. We haven't really seen too many mechanical failures yet, so that's something to always keep an eye on. I'm definitely closing in on Gonzalez here. Noticeably closer than the last few laps. You can see him the whole time over the hill here. Try not to get too excited. Still hit our marks. Might have run a little wide there. Of course, the AI do make mistakes in Grand Prix Legends. The engine now, he can likely hear mine as well. Try to get a good line. Oh, I'm missing that apex a bit. Able to not make it too bad. Get on the gas here again. front straightaway, try to draft as best as we can. And I'm not sure why I pulled in so much on that lap, but definitely much closer now. I'm missing that second gear again, but somehow able to hold on to it. I double shifted almost. Got it back into the gear quick enough where it slowed the car down. Brakes are shot though. Still very close to Gonzalez. Right on the back of him now. So we need to try to find a good place to pass. Really sawing the wheel here, but this won't be a good place to try to stick it up the inside, not if you want to make it through the corner. I think my best place to pass is actually going to be at the start of the lap. So we'll see if we can keep it close down that front straightaway. It's a good exit there, not too far behind. Try to use the gears effectively into turn one this time. Oh, and locking up the brakes a bit. Being very heavy on that brake pedal, trying to stay as close as I can. Second gear here. The brakes just aren't with me anymore. First gear now. See if we can sneak it underneath him. So we'll come over the top of the hill. And we did it. We've gone past Gonzalez. But he is right on our tail now. Get into third gear here for this long right-hander. And he does not want us to have the corners. Does not want us to have the spot. But it seems like we might have gotten it. Let's make a good line through these next few corners. Really feel the understeer here. Was doing some fun racing in the 67 cars around Monza, and just reminds me of how different these cars drive than those. In the fifth gear now, he's looking towards the inside, but I'm not going to let him have it. Definitely need to be precise on the brakes and the gears, getting it down to second, but running it a little wide into the corner. Sliding it out. The fans loving what they're seeing. Into first gear though. Able to pull a little distance on him now. I'm definitely quicker in the first part of the track, and I'm seeing the Mercedes definitely reeling. Third place in. We'll check the pit board next time by and see who that is. Very conservative line that time. I need to clear my head, try to get back into this rhythm. Made a bunch of good laps there, and I think that's why I caught up to Gonzalez. Heart beating now quite a bit, so try to calm back down. Back to the task at hand. There's still plenty of race left. cars here on the front stretch. Take a look at our pit board. We'll see now. 4th place with 16 to go, so we're almost halfway, and it is Moss in front of us, unfortunately. Little wishful thinking for it to be Fangio. We know in 1955 who played first fiddle in Mercedes. And almost no brake going into this corner. Really just use a lot of the downshifting. The hill here. Left hand, right-hander. If you get this one right, you can almost take it flat. Done that a couple times already this race. Not this time through. Nice slide through that corner. You get some really satisfying turns here when you get it correct. The front straightaway. Felt like I was, when I passed Gonzalez, that I was gaining on Moss as well, but he seems to be holding station in front of me. Trying to put together as good laps as I can. Really interested actually in seeing my lap times after the Grand Prix. Some really solid laps in there, although car would have been heavy with fuel. Not going to be qualifying pace, but for race pace, doesn't seem too bad. Almost flat that time through there, but the car was very upset. Pushing like as much as I possibly can, like heck. And just riding it right up to the edge of the circuit. Pretty easy to touch the edge and it'll pull you off the track in spots. Shifting a corner too early that time. Make it work. It's really easy to make a mistake like that. It becomes almost, without thinking, driving the car. And that's when I feel like I go best, when I'm not fully thinking what I'm doing. As soon as you try to process every little move is when you think yourself too far. And I do see one of the lapped cars ahead, so we are going to start catching lap traffic. Almost forgot that that was going to happen as well. We're definitely closing in on Moss too, so pace is looking good overall. I'll know if I do get around Moss that it wasn't just lap traffic that caused it. Although Ascari is very far ahead now. I just can't, another one of these, just can't imagine doing 100 laps around here in these cars. Not like I'm driving right now. Unfortunately, the AI would not back off at points. They're gonna race their heart out the whole time, so don't I. I don't remember how long this Grand Prix is in the 67 cars at full distance, but I feel like it isn't quite 100 laps, but if it is, it's obviously shorter as well because those cars are much quicker. Down into third gear here. the gas as soon as we can. Four-wheel drift around the final corner and onto the straightaway. "13 laps left, getting there. Moss in front of us, and a lapped car in front of him. Oh, and he's definitely getting held up here. Trying to make the most of it. Running a little wide on exit, almost using full opposite lock there to keep the car straight. Moss able to get around the lapped car, so now it's my job to do the same. Letting us by, thank you very much. Always worried that they're gonna jump back on the racing line. See that Mercedes in front of us. Beautiful, beautiful race car. Oh, missing the apex there, causing me to run a little wide. Hitting the curb there. It's alright to use the curbs a bit, but you don't want to be too rough about it. Not yet damaged the car doing that, but I do know it's possible. Car feels fine right now. As you can see, another lapped car ahead. Really just on the limit of grip getting into turn one. There's really no way around it to be competitive. Working ever closer to Moss, right on his rear tank right now. This lapped car in the next couple corners, and that will certainly make things interesting. This car got a little upset there in the middle of those two corners. Coming a little too hot into this long right-hander. This is one track, I know I said couldn't pronounce the names of the corners, but it's one I really just don't even know the names of the corners. I definitely need to learn it. Because it is a great circuit. When Moss getting held up there, but lap traffic. Van Wall here. Might be Mike Hawthorne letting us go wide, but wow, I almost ran off the track there. Getting by the lapped car as well. Mike Hawthorne, of course, famous 50s driver. Raced for Ferrari for quite a while too before switching back to British makes. Van Wall, 55, Van Wall was not very successful, but would be in the coming seasons. I think in 56 they actually came out with a new car. That was a very successful machine. Now we're right on the back of Moss. Try to get him into our favorite passing zone. Tucked up the inside. Not sure if I'm around him just yet. Wow, these are not corners that you want to go too wide through. But getting the better of him there. Try to stick it up the inside here. Keep it on the inside. Don't let him around. And the crowd on the top of the sand dunes clapping wildly. Or maybe not. Who knows what did the Dutch like Americans or British better? make up our own history. Down into third gear for the last corner. Very conservative line again. And Moss right on our tail. To the inside, but we'll pull away from him on the straight a bit. And our beastly powered Ferrari making all our shifts. Oh, and we have Gonzalez right behind us. He obviously able to catch up a bit as Moss and I fought too wide through the first part of the lap there. To get up there past Moss and onto the podium, which has not been easy thus far. We have another lapped car here to negotiate. Not a track where you want any kind of car damage. We'll have to be extra careful behind these lapped cars. Try our best here, but I'm not seeing Ascari really anywhere in front of me. We'll take a look at the pit board this next time by and see how far ahead he might be, but with the amount of laps left, might have to hope for a failure, and it might be better for us to ease up just a little bit. Those are the type of decisions you need to make it through an entire Grand Prix. Doing here. I'm actually impressed with the lapped car's speed, although they're obviously slower. They're not so slow that it's an annoyance. Look here, 9 laps to go. Ascari is only 4 seconds in front on the last lap. It's not an insurmountable goal. Switching lanes in front, classic back marker. Seeing a red Lancia in front of me, or maybe a Ferrari. It looks more like a Ferrari. Could it be our friend Trincino here to spoil the day? Sliding very wide here. Actually, a really close call on that one. Nine laps doesn't sound like much, but it's still nearly a third of this race to go. That is definitely a Ferrari in front of me, and it has a white helmet, and it's not Farina. It must be Mr. Trincino. Of course, our favorite friend from round 1 who ruined our second place finish. Of course, we won't get past him on the straightaway, so we don't have to worry about that. Turn 1 here, not a good place to try to pass. Sneak up the outside. And able to successfully make it by. One of the more tense moments maybe, not fighting side by side with Moss, but passing Trincino. Some good oversteer through there. Good oversteer. That's not something you get in a modern car. That might be Ascari in front of us being held up a little bit. until we're a little closer to see that bright blue helmet if it is him. Behind another van wall, it looks like. Seven laps to go, P3, that's what I like to see. That is a Ascari. So pulling in on him a bit. We still got Moss right behind us. Not too many laps left he might look at. Using the lap traffic to his advantage. Whoa, the car being very unsettled on the brakes there, braking to the left a bit. As well. Getting a good drive here as we head up the hill. Not able to get it flat out, but darn near close into third gear. Making it a little too close of an entry, but we'll try to cut it on the exit. One bridge, definitely one of those. It's actually a bit more scary in the 67 cars. Able to run wide and tap the outside. Doesn't seem to be too much an issue here. The line's very different. Getting through another lap there. Pushing very hard again. Not too many laps left. And Ascari not out of reach. Running wide in the first corner, it looked like. The banking on these corners. Definitely awesome to drive in these cars. Whoa. Almost throwing it into the hay bales there. Definitely don't want to throw everything away being in third place, but second place just much better with the points. When Ascari making quick work of this Maserati in front of us. Do the same. Approaching a streamlined Mercedes as well. I guess only really being used. Mercedes holding me up quite a bit. Sneak down the inside here as we head onto the front straight. Ascari making out on that one. The streamlined Mercedes only really being used on Monza, I believe, and Spa, I guess. But since some of the other Grand Prix were canceled, it was not used as many races as it would have been. Ascari making quick work again. He is quick around those lapped cars. And the Mercedes very slow working around these corners. All that extra weight, the bodywork there. Definitely is a tough one to drive around a twisty circuit. If you want to drive a hard car and track combination, try that car around Monaco. Totally unrealistic, but very, very difficult. It's like driving a sports car, really. Of course, that would have been the limiting factor those days. Why could you drive a streamlined car? Well, the weight was just too much for it to actually be an effective car everywhere. Take a look here at the pit board. We're getting towards the pointy end of this one. 4 laps to go, still P3. Scary just making much better work of that traffic than me. First corner, up over the hill, down into second gear, missing that apex a little bit, able to correct for it, go down into first again. A lot of oversteer there doing that. Get on the throttle as soon as we can. On the exit, try to keep it tidy. Fourth gear here, let off the gas, try to plant the car, get back on the gas, over the top of the hill. Down into third, get right down into that curbing, sliding wide. Get it back up to fourth gear for this next set of corners. Missing apexes everywhere. Nobody said this was easy. Definitely getting a little tired now. Shifted down to third, so fourth gear a long part of the lap. But third helps us through this final corner and back onto that main straightaway. We do have another lapped car ahead, but Scary very quick with that lap traffic. Second gear here into turn one. Sliding a bit wide this time. We'll try to get on the gas and capitalize. Make the best of our line that we can. Oh, and we're definitely pulling in on Ascari, but we don't have many laps left. And it is one of his teammates in front of us. Touching the grass there, that's not good, but it actually put us on a pretty good line through this corner. He's a little bit of a moment. Sliding the car quite a bit. I'm really pushing as hard as I can here. I want this second position on the Lancia. Actually blocking his teammate. They will not be happy about that. Try to get back on the gas. Oh, on the two, I think touching a bit. So now we head down the front straightaway towards turn one, right on the back of Ascari now, really in his draft. We'll tuck to the inside, try to get our shifting right here. Up the inside, able to use the brakes effectively. Over the top of the hill now, down back into second gear. We've got the line now. Ascari giving it up. Accidentally shifting up to third, but able to get back down into first gear here. Back on the throttle and away with the position. Just a couple laps to go, I think. Making it past Ascari. Quite a tense moment there, passing in turn one, but had that opportunity. The two Lancias touching a bit. I'll have to review that. That definitely seemed touch in front of me. Capitalizing where we could. Ultimately, I think Ascari was a bit quicker than us, but that one lap traffic really making the difference. So here we just have a few more corners to go. I think there'll be one more lap left after this. Not long now. Fangio long gone in front of us, though. Ascari not totally gone. He is right behind us and pulling up down the front straightaway. Looking towards the inside. It was definitely slow last time because of that touch. Try to get all our shifts correct. Able to get into the first corner well. Third gear here. And I think we're pretty much untouchable through this section. As long as we don't make any mistakes, that is. But Ascari not that far behind us. You can see just the hint of a laps car in front, but hopefully we won't catch them on this lap. They're just quick enough. Just giving it a little breath of the throttle there, and Ascari maybe giving up on it. So we just have to make it through this final set of corners. And I think it's the final lap. I didn't check, but sometimes it's easy to lose count, so we'll have to see. And almost running wide there on I think what is the final lap. So easy to do, so easy to throw everything away here. We'll get back on the gas, making it through. We'll see, hopefully that checkered flag waving. And there it is, coming to the line. Oh man, second position, unbelievable. I really did not think that was going to be possible. Second position here. I think the lap traffic helped. I feel like I put in some great laps in the middle there. Really no major moments. I think very early on a couple missed shifts were really the biggest moments. Oh, and it looks like, so Ascari just passed me, obviously. Him finishing third, just running wide there. But Gonzalez behind him, and we'll have to check the results, obviously, but could Gonzalez have beaten Moss, which would be awesome for the points championship? Finishing in a second position and Moss getting, what would that be, fifth? That could be really, really good for the championship. Here comes maybe our new best friend, the 28 here. Hitting Ascari with 3 laps to go, 2 laps to go, allowing me to get past him. I'm sure the Lancia team will be having quite the discussion after the Grand Prix. But making it through, waving to the crowd. Backing up our win in Spa was not just a fluke. Although we didn't win here, we were battling for it. Fangio, though, who knows? So far ahead, we'll have to see how far back we actually were from him at the finish. Just unbelievable. Untouchable most of this season so far. But we do, if we look ahead, we do get some great races coming up. I think Mercedes might do very well at the Nürburgring. That one's going to be tough, but Reims being the next race. There's a very fast French circuit, Reims. That should be a really interesting one. I'm interested to see how quick we are compared to some of the other cars. We'll come pull up here at our pit stall. Hear the crowd roaring. We'll take a look here at the final results. So let's take a look after 30 laps. Fangio getting that win, and I was 36 seconds back. That is unbelievable. So really just not going to be possible. Fangio was in his own world today. 36 seconds, but second position. Very, very satisfied with that. Ascari finishing in third, just 7/10 off. Great last few corners there. Him and I. Fastest lap, unfortunately, goes to Fangio. I do want to take a quick look at my laps. Quickest lap I ran was a 41.5, which I'm pretty happy with. Much quicker than my qualifying time, actually. But pretty consistent the whole race, running 41.42s almost the entire time, which feels good. All right, so taking a look at the points here after 4 rounds. Second position in the points. That's what I like to see. What I don't like to see is I'm 10 points back, which is crazy. But that's how good Fangio is. And so done 4 rounds, done that Dutch Grand Prix, and we're headed to the French Grand Prix. Of course, didn't actually happen in real life, but we'll do it here, and I'm pretty excited for it. We got 6 rounds remaining in the championship, 5 that we can definitely do, obviously with the Spanish Grand Prix, the Pedralbes track not yet being created for Grand Prix Legends, but we'll definitely do it eventually if it ever comes out. So that's done 4 rounds. I hope you enjoyed that one. It was a really tough, long race, but happy to get that second place finish. So I will see you in France.